Welcome to our Tell the Truth program. The topic I want to discuss with you today is, was the Sabbath changed from the seventh day of the week to any other day of the week? Many Christians believe that when Christ died on the cross, He changed the Sabbath in the Ten Commandments. Now, you will notice the Sabbath is the fourth commandment in the Ten Commandments. And God says in the book Malachi chapter 3 and I believe verse 6, it says that God has never changed. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Jesus Christ was the one that gave the Ten Commandments in the beginning. Of course, He was God. Jesus Christ also is the one that gave the Ten Commandments to the children of Israel on Mount Sinai. Jesus Christ also, He was the one that came and died on the cross. And He said, I did not come to change the law, but to fulfill it. Jesus Christ kept the commandments accordingly. Luke chapter 4 and verse 16. Jesus says, the scripture says that as His custom was, He goes to the synagogue on the Sabbath. Jesus Christ had never changed the Sabbath from the seventh day of the week to the first day of the week. The Sabbath is a reminder of what He did in the beginning. He created the earth in 6 days, and on the seventh day He rested, He hallowed, He sanctified it, He blessed it. Now, worshiping God on every day of the week is not a problem, but to make a particular day as the Sabbath in place of the day that God had given is to tell God that you don't know what you're doing. And many Christians are doing that, not knowing what they're doing. They're so ignorant of what they're doing. The Sabbath has never changed. Let's trace history for a little while. Now, Adam and Eve kept the Sabbath before their fall. Adam and Eve kept the Sabbath after their fall. The generations throughout until the time of the flood, Noah and his family kept the Sabbath. And after the flood, they kept the Sabbath. The scripture says in Genesis 26 verse 5, Abraham kept the commandments, he kept the Sabbath. Jacob's children kept the Sabbath, they ended up in Egypt. Now, because they became slaves for about 400 years, that did not mean that the Sabbath was forgotten. They may have not kept the Sabbath, but they remembered the Sabbath, just like you and I today. We may forget to keep holy God's Sabbath day, but we never forgot the Sabbath. And so all throughout from that time until the New Testament, Jesus Christ kept the Sabbath. He came to this earth and He kept the Sabbath. Now, He died on a Friday. He kept the Sabbath, and He rose again on the first day of the week. That was Sunday. So when He kept the Sabbath, Satan thought that he had won. He did not realize that Christ was resting in the tomb according to the commandment. You can read Luke 23 verses 54, 55, 56 and Luke 24 verse 1. It was early in the morning. The women went to the tomb. It was the first day of the week. They went to see Jesus or to check Him out and brought their ointments to the tomb. Now, on Friday, they went back and kept the Sabbath accordingly. On the Sabbath day, the seventh day of the week, they did not go to the tomb. They kept the Sabbath. But on the first day of the week, they went to the tomb and they found out that He rose again. Now, the Lord reminded us, the communion service we are to celebrate regularly, that is to remind us about His death and His resurrection. But the Sabbath is a memorial of His creation, that He made the earth in 6 days and He rested on the Sabbath. If the whole world remembers God and keeps the Sabbath day holy, there will be no evolutionist ever on this earth, because all of us would have recognized that it was God who made the earth in 6 days. It was God who made Adam and Eve on the 6th day. We did not evolve out of monkeys. We were created by God Himself. So the Sabbath reminds us of who God is. He is the one who made the earth in 6 days. If we really want to remind ourselves of His death and His resurrection, then the communion service is. It is my prayer that God will bless us to understand what the meaning of the Sabbath is. It is the seventh day of the week. The Sabbath is not allotted to any other day of the week. It's not the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth day of the week. The Sabbath means the seventh day of the week. May God bless you. Tell the truth.